Greetings and welcome to In Depth. I'm Dike Rostant. We are very happy to be having a conversation with Matthew Pulchan. You may be seeing some young men running in the background that is going to be featuring in this conversation. Let's find out more about him. Matthew, thank you so much for making the time. So we see that training is happening and so, but in terms of you being into athletics and running, possibly even specifically long distance, where did your journey begin?
Oh, it all started at the age of 9 years, right? With my uncle being the main guy, right? He was basically always there to guide me, right? I remember that day where he was going training, he was on his way to go training, and I was just crying. And I just say, I want to come with you, I want to come with you, I want to come with you. And you know what he said? You know what? Come with me, right? He told me, get ready. I got dressed and I went training with him. And after that day, it changed my whole life, right? From there, training become running on the whole, just became something different to me, right? Is now like something that would motivate me on my down times, right? And I believe that seeing that I found that, that passion for running at a young age, I just feel like I'm addicted to it. It's like drugs that I cannot stop taking, right?
But I feel from what I hear, it may have been even before that 9-year-old started and was crying to go with his uncle.
Yeah.
Because I heard mommy running long distance while she was carrying you.
Of course, right? My mom, she told me the whole story, right? How it went, right? And my generation of family was athletes, right? Even my uncles and them, right? It all started with my grandmother and my grandfather. Grandfather being a sprinter and my grandmother being a long distance athlete, right? And with the two of them clashing together, right? It formed like a whole, like this one generation are just athletes, right? And people who just had the talent, right? So my mom, she was one of the main ones. She was my grandmother's only daughter, right? And in terms of track and field in Trinidad and Tobago, she was literally one of the best females, long distance, right? Probably it might not have nothing about her on Google if you go and search up her name, but back then she was like, if I had to describe she was a beast, right?
Feel free to call name too,
Her name, Janelle Smith, right? She performed in the 5,000, the 1,500 meter, right? She basically made a curve. She started training for curve within 4 months before curve. She started training, and she made a curve in 4 months' time, right? And to be honest, that is like pure talent, right? Because it are athletes who literally training for curve for years and cannot make a team. And that alone says that, this person was really talented, right? And what happened, she came and she made me. And at that time, she was still running, right? After that, she made my sister, right? And she was still running at that time, right? And when she made my brother, she going down on the running, right? Because, well, I mean, I believe making children, I don't really know what it means to make children, but I believe it is take a toll on your body, right? And it might be a little more difficult to, continue the running, especially when you have responsibilities.
That's what I was thinking about as well, because as opposed to just being able to focus on your talent and doing this, you're also looking at the fact that you have this set of responsibility, you're making sure that people eating, you're making sure that people good, who need to go to school, and this kind of way, so focusing like that
Of course.
is really something.
Yeah.
But looking at who got it from your mom, and you said that you run, you said your sister does some as well?
Yeah, my sister, right, Jalissa Matters, right? She got the talent long distance as well, right, her first races, which were the 5,000-meter road races, on her first race, she was good, right? And what happened is that my uncle, George Smith, right, the one who was playing, who was basically the guy in the background, right, who was making all the adjustments and the movements, right? Um, I didn't brought up this, but no, it wasn't just my mom, right, but my uncle was the one who was basically guiding me throughout the whole procedure, right? So with my mom having these responsibilities, and as I said, me wanting to train with my uncle was basically a big deal. So my uncle was the one who was basically guiding me every step on my journey, and even at this point, he's still guiding me, right, with those children and them, right? So if I had to say, all right, my sister, he decided to train my sister as well, right? And with my sister getting the necessary training, she ended up beating some of the best females in the country, right? And at the age of 15 years, she was like, she basically, I believe, in 2020, she did make the Curvita team, but what happened, Curvita was cancelled because of the COVID, right? So she was basically unable to perform in for Curvita because the cancellation, right? So, right, in terms of my sister, right now at this point, she gave it a little rest, right?
No.
Because she had exams, CXC preparing for.
After one time, it's two time as well. But in terms of like, what is it that you love to run and why? And I say that because it's sprints or long distance.
Well, I start off as a middle distance athlete, and at this point, I'm still a middle distance athlete, where I'm more specialized in the 1500 meter and the 800 meter, right? To be honest, I love the 800 meter, right? It's basically 2 laps around the stadium, right? Whereas the first lap would be going out there relaxing, and the second lap going out all, because the second lap does normally be that lap where you're catching lactic acid, right? So it's about maintaining, right? But and I love the 800 for that. Whereas for the 1500 meter, it's a longer event to run.
But some people might even call it almost like a chess match as well too, because you're going, yes, you're relaxing on that first lap, but you're also seeing where everybody else is.
Of course.
You're looking at how it is you're feeling, whether or not you want to drag people out a little bit, or
Yeah.
just kind of rock back and wait to see what's happening. So
Well-
what are some of the things that are going on in your mind while you're running that 800?
Okay, well, I'm the type of guy, I like to lead, right? Especially if I have so much confidence in myself and I aiming to run a fast time, I will run out from the get-go, right? Especially if I run for a faster time, I will just, the first lap, I'll go out fast, tired out everybody from the get-go, because the guys in them who will be running after me, obviously they will get tired after that first lap. And that is for me now to show my true strength in the second lap, right? So I just more try to sprint it, right? Normally a day before, 2 days before my race, I would do a 600 meter time trial, where that will basically prepare my mental for the race, right? So now I'll go in the race with full confidence, knowing that I run a good times for the 600 meter, right? That will boost my confidence from the get-go, right?
And with that, you say normally you show your true strength in the second lap.
Yeah.
So you're gonna show even more strength in the second half of the conversation. We take a short break. We're speaking with an middle distance runner. We're gonna talk about trainer and just all around good youth, Matthew Pulchan. Stay with us. We return after this. Welcome back. We are speaking with Matthew Pulchan, middle distance runner. But apart from just running as an individual, it seems as though you've taken some young men from the community under your wing, Matthew. What was the reason for that? Because people who normally young trying to organize themselves,
Yeah.
as opposed to saying, okay, well, all you come in and do this too, no?
All right, well, if I tell you the whole story, how it began, right, it all started like this, right? where it was basically me and my cousin. We was taking a walk to the parlor, right? And those young boys and them, they came to my cousin and asked him for $1, right? So, you know, he told them, he said, you know what? If all you want that dollar, all you had to run for that dollar.
Go! Come on up here. Use them long legs. Use it.
Right? So now with that being said, they say, okay, you know what, they energize and they say, all right, I want that dollar, right? So from there now, they run they run, right? And when they run, he ended up giving them the dollar, right? So we end up making it even more interesting now. We said that we're going to race with Alia, right? But we're giving Alia a head start in front of us. And the person to beat us, well, I mean, if Alia beat us, Alia gain $50 for yourself, right? So now things get more interesting. Everybody want to come now, right? But all these Sharon and them here and $50 is like a whole $100 again. You know how much things they could buy with $50 in the shop for them, right? And from there now, we ran the first race with them. They lost, right? Because the head start we gave them was basically too close. So we say, all right, you know what? This race now, if one person beat we, that person get $100 for themselves, and everybody else getting $50, right? So you know we do. Some of them they say away, but they can't beat us. They lost confidence in themselves and kind of thing. I say here, they say you must never say that about yourself. You must never doubt yourself. You must always push yourself, and most importantly, never give up, right? So this one we say, all right, the person the person who win get $100 for themselves, and the rest of them get $50 each. So now this one, I'll literally look at them. It had some of them in the background who was cheering on for the friend to win. And we see on your mark, set, go. And from there now, it had this one who ended up beating us, and it was like, oh gosh. We was like, the whole time we was just smiling because we had to give them $100, right? So we was like, okay, right, next week, right, me and our cousin, we came together and we say, all right, next week, so and so getting all the $50, and this person, he getting his $100. So next week came, they was so hype, well, I don't know, they say they want to train, they want to run, right? And I say that is basically nothing, right? But all you have to remember that when you're putting hard work, it's not just hard work, but you have to be putting in patience at the same time, right? Because running is that thing. When I mean demonstrating, I didn't want to inject any type of fear into them yet. I want them to enjoy it at the same time because I don't want them to lose that feeling, that fun feeling what I was getting while I was running. Because we started off so fun, right? And I just didn't want to get so serious with them. So it started off all fun and nice from the beginning, and from there, we gradually increased the intensity at the training, right? And for the fact that they're seeing so much of progression, it's like they want it more now.
And I think it's really important to keep that level of excitement
Of course.
building towards the commitment. But do you, the group that we saw training, is that the same group or was it a set of other people? And I think there are also more individuals, it's just that people getting ready for exams and this kind
Of
of
course,
thing.
yeah. Well, that's them there, right? And it have a few of them again, right? But as I said, most of them getting prepared for exams, right? And not just that, some of them was unavailable to come because of school-wise and thing, right? So yeah.
But your training,
Yeah.
how does that kind of impact your training? One, just in terms of you having time to train,
Yeah.
and well, answer that first and then I'll ask the second past that.
How does it affect my training? Well,
Yeah.
normally, right? Normally what would happen is that I would be doing my training with them, right? So, like with me doing the coaching today, right? It don't normally be so. It is normally be me, the both, them, the both of, sides, we training together as one. So what would normally happen is that I would normally give them a head start, right? Or say, for example, I have 200 meters to do, right? I would let them do 160s or something, right? And from there now, I will have to push myself more. That way I still gain my training in, and them will have to push themselves more with their time in themselves as well. So it's like, well, I mean, you're killing two birds with one stone.
Okay, and also, do you see any differences in the way that you train now that you're coaching them, now that you're kind of pushing them to be the better selves too?
To be honest, at this point, I feel like a dad, right? Because starting this and me just transferring my knowledge onto them, and with that, what I doing that and carrying them to training, to go and train, it make me feel like a father figure at this point. And I've seen so much of things that are doing that some of them basically mimicking, and it has make me want to do right and make me think about certain things before I do it in front of them, right? And even me being at home, they just want to be around with me as well. So I like the fact they feel comfortable being around me. I like the fact that they could be open with me and talk to me and tell me what's going on. So now I could basically relate to the situation and, answer to suit.
And what's next for you? Because is it that you want to take this training to the next level? Is this something that you'll be doing on the side? What kind of plans do you have for running as you as an individual?
All right. This was something I was basically doing on the side. Right. What happened is that it's only when I started this training and them I didn't thought that it would have reached this far. Right. I wasn't expecting it to reach this far. I was just thinking probably would have just be a one day thing or a week thing. And, but it just happened in a way that these and them love this sport so much that I had to sacrifice my time in the process to train them. And what it had times that I would had to train them here at home and have to go and train at the stadium, right? I basically have two coaches who would train me, right? Which is my uncle George Smith and Coach Cadell, right? Those two is the ones who does be guiding me, right? Coach Cadell, a sprinting coach, and George Smith, a long distance coach, right? So it's like two of them combined, and it's just like helping for the middle distance, right? So what I just do, I just take in as much I could take in from them, and I transfer it to those kids and them.
And how does Coach Cadell and your uncle George Smith feel when they see you transferring that and they see you actually taking that responsibility?
Well, my uncle believed that it's a good thing I'm doing, but he told me that I should more focus on building myself in the process, right? Um, the I don't have much to say about in that area, right? But they believe that is a positive thing I'm doing, right? Like anyone could say, it's a positive thing I'm doing, but at the same time, I had to balance it and focus on myself as well in the process, right?
Okay, and with that, we want to thank you so much for the work that you're doing, both on yourself and with the children in the community, and trying to make that balance. And more power to you.
Yeah.
And on behalf of the entire TTT News team, this has been In Depth with Dike Rostant. Thank you so much for joining us. We've been speaking with Matthew Pulchan. Welcome back. We just concluded that conversation with Matthew Pulchan. We're very happy to be speaking with some of the young men that he works with, that he trains. So gentlemen, thank you so much. We start off getting your names, so you just say your name and pass the mic along to us.
My name is Jeremiah Arias.
My name is Josh Aragu.
My name is Akil Ferdinand.
My name is Jaden Mo.
And Jaden, what is it that you like about training with Mr. Matthew?
Well, I like it to keep me occupied away from, bad influences. Yeah, and it won't harm any gangs now.
Okay.
Yeah, that is mainly what I like about it.
Thank you so much. And Akil, in terms of what is going through your mind when you're running that hill and you're trying to push and it's almost as though you almost reach the cone, but the incline taking you a little bit.
It's very intense. It's very hard to pass. I keep on pushing. How I might push, I able to win.
Thanks. How you be tossing up that hill so, boy? It's practice, it's because you're practicing a long time, or?
Yeah, I used to practice like some months ago.
Okay, and even in that kind of competition, it feels as though every time I see you running, you one of those, even by yourself, you really running up that hill. I watching that hill and I feeling tired.
Well, it's easy to me because I'm doing it long time and I had the stamina for it.
Okay. And one of the things that Mr. Matthew said, he always said, believe in yourself and push through. Do you see a difference in yourself from when you started to where you are now?
Yeah, well, before I had started, we used to train like by a pound further down now. And I could barely even do a lap. I used to do like half in it and after I used to like walk the rest. But now I keep on training and I'm feeling like I get more better. But I feel the reason why I get more better is because of the motivation. Because if it wasn't like ready for one of them and I was like training by myself, I feel like I wouldn't have enough motivation to like continue now. So I feel like that will keep me going right now.
Okay, and I want each of you all to talk to the microphone, well, talk to the camera and tell people why they should get involved in something. It may be running, it may be some other sort of training, but in terms like that kind of positive activity.
Yeah.
I mean, it go make you feel occupied and you go have things to do and you won't just be home sitting down lazy and outside playing instead of not doing nothing now. So you just have something to do always.
Keep on going, you are making life.
Yeah, I think you should join running and stuff because it will keep you occupied other than being lazy. Yeah, if your mother, like friends come along, you could tell your mother could tell them you have a good son that he actually doing something.
Come on, Jerry, push.
Thank you so much. And gentlemen, we want to thank you for the work that you're putting in. And we're really happy that we were able to speak with you all a little bit this afternoon. And we're thankful that we're able to help share that message to you at this point in time. Thank you so much for joining us.